everybody, I'm here to bring you my May wrap-up today. I'm sorry I didn't make a video last week. I was actually on vacation at the beach, so I was just enjoying that and not thinking about really making videos or anything, but I'm back now, so let's talk about what I read in May. So I managed to get through 6 books in May, which I was pretty excited about. Well, technically I finished one of them yesterday, so it wasn't technically something that I read. Well, I read the majority of it in May, I just didn't finish it in May. I finished it on June 2nd, but I'm going to count it because I feel like if I wait till my June wrap-up to talk about it, I won't remember the things that I want to say. So hopefully y'all let me bend the rules a little bit with that one. So one of the first things that I read in May, or rather listened to, was an audiobook, and it was Bossy Pants by Tina Fey. I love Tina Fey. I think she's hilarious. I'm a big fan of 30 Rock and all of the other things she does, so I was really excited to listen to her audiobook, which I would definitely, everybody always says when you're reading comedian memoirs and stuff like that, that you should listen to the audiobook, because usually they narrate their own books, and I think that definitely holds true, at least in this case. I think listening to Tina read it was just added such another level of hilarity to it, because just the way that she enunciates and times things and everything, it's hilarious, and it just adds so much to the reading experience. And she talks about a lot of different things on the audiobook. She talks about her marriage with her husband, her honeymoon, which was kind of a hilarious disaster. She talks about her daughter and about her career and working at SNL and starting 30 Rock, and talks about her childhood some and her parents, what they were like, especially her father, Don Fay, who was quite an interesting man. And yeah, she just talks about different aspects of her life, and with a hilarious spin on them, of course. So if you like Tina Fey, or if you like comedic memoirs or anything like that, I would definitely suggest this one. I believe I gave it 4 or 5 out of 5 stars. It was great. I would definitely recommend it. And then in May, I participated in the MG May Reads Readathon, hosted by Patty from I Smell Books and Akos from Akoso. In that readathon, I was able to finish 2 books, which were Julia and the Art of Practical Travel by Leslie M. Bloom, and The Cats of Tanglewood Forest by Charles DeLint, with illustrations by Charles Bess. And I talked about these 2 in my wrap-up for that readathon, so I will link that video down below in case you want to go and check that out. But I really enjoyed both of these. I gave them both 4 out of 5 stars, so if you want to hear more of my thoughts on those, check out that video that I will link below. And then while I was at the beach last week, like I said, I wasn't really thinking about video making or anything. I did manage to do some reading, however, and I started and finished Saint Anything by Sarah Dessen, and this is a signed copy, as you can see, that I got at Target. And I love Sarah Dessen. I have read all of her books that she's published so far, this one and all the ones previous to that. And I believe this is the 12th, yes. This is the 12th book of hers, and she is just one of the queens of the YA contemporary. And this particular book follows our main character, Sydney, who, her brother is kind of the golden child of the household, and kind of just everywhere he goes, he's a big personality, and so he attracts all the attention, which kind of leaves her in his shadow. When he starts high school, I believe he starts to receive more negative attention, because he starts to get into drugs and alcohol, and you know, he gets arrested a few times for smaller charges. But then one night, after he has been sober and everything for about a year, I think, and has been through rehab and is doing really well, he decides for whatever reason to go to one of his friends' houses and get drunk. He ends up hitting a young kid on his bicycle and paralyzing him. And of course he gets sent to jail for this, and this is just about Sydney and her family having to deal with the aftermath of that. So she's just struggling with that, and then she decides to switch high schools, and she meets some new friends at her high school, a girl named Layla and her brother Mac, and becomes very good friends with them and their group of friends. And yeah, everything just starts to change for her, and she starts to discover things and work through the process of dealing with all that's happening in her life and healing and everything like that. So this is a really good book. I would actually classify it as one of my favorite of Dessen's works. I really enjoyed this one. I really like Sydney. the main character. She was really great. She had a great voice. I recommend this one. If there's not really, I wouldn't really say there's any right place to start with Sarah Dessen. I think you can really dive into whichever one sounds the most appealing to you, but I would definitely recommend her. She is definitely very good at what she does. She can craft one heck of a contemporary, and they're very fast-paced reads. I read this in just a few days, so yeah, I really enjoyed this one, so I would recommend that, and I think I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. And then the next book that I finished in May, yes, this past month was May, okay, gotta get my calendar straight in my head. This book that I read in May was Memento Mori by Muriel Spark, and I read The Prime of Miss Jean Brodie by Muriel Spark a couple months ago and really enjoyed it, so I wanted to get into some more of her writing, and I actually buddy read this with Lil from Lil's Vintage World, who I will link below. She's fabulous. You should definitely check her out if you haven't already. And we decided that we would read a Muriel Spark together because we both wanted to read some more of her work, and this was the one that we settled on. And unfortunately, we both didn't really like this one too much. It follows a group of senior citizens and their relationships with one another and everything that's happening in their lives and the changes that they're going through as they age. And one of them gets a phone call from this anonymous man saying simply, "Remember, you must die." And she gets this phone call fairly regularly, and of course she starts to become alarmed by it, and as the novel progresses, more and more of the characters start to get the phone call as well, and it's about them trying to figure out what this could mean and who's behind it, and more than that, just about their lives and the different trials and tribulations they're going through as they age and their relationships with one another and how they feel about one another and everything like that. And I mean, as far as why I didn't enjoy this so much, I don't know, I couldn't connect with really any of the characters. The majority of them were not very likable, which I think was a choice on Spark's part. I don't think you were supposed to like or sympathize with most of the characters in here, which is fine. I don't normally mind that. I can deal with some unlikable characters. But this just, I couldn't find myself connecting with any of them. I didn't really care about any of the things that were happening to them or what was going on in the story. And the last, like, 70 pages or so, I had to force myself to get through, which is, it doesn't sound like much, but it's quite a significant amount in just a, you know, a little bit over 200-page book. So yeah, I was a little disappointed in this one, as was Lil, which was kind of a shame because, you know, it's our first buddy read, but we have some more books that we plan to buddy read together, hopefully in the near future, so hopefully we can redeem ourselves from this one. But yeah, it just wasn't really for me, unfortunately. I still want to pick up, I enjoyed The Prime of Miss Jean Brodie much more, and I still hope to pick up more of Spark's work in the future because I really like her writing style. I think it's just this plot and these characters weren't necessarily for me. So that's that. And I think I gave this 2 out of 5 stars, and I think Lil did as well. So yeah, we didn't enjoy it, but hopefully we'll pick up something in the future together that we do enjoy. So that's that one. And then the last thing that I read in May was the one that I said that I finished on June 2nd, which was yesterday actually, and that was Fairy Tale, One Woman's Search for Enchantment in a Modern World, a memoir by Signe Pike. I hope I'm pronouncing that name correctly. I think I am, but if I'm not, I'm very sorry. And if you know how to pronounce it, feel free to correct me in the comments. And this is the story, this is a nonfiction book, obviously. It's a memoir by Miss Signe Pike. At the beginning of the book, her father has just recently passed away, and she's still struggling with the grief of that. And I think I'm going to actually just read the back of this to you to kind of give you a feel about what it's about, because I think that's the best way to do it justice. So it says, in search of something to believe in again, Signe Pike left behind a career in Manhattan to undertake a magical journey, literally. In a sweeping tour through England, Ireland, Scotland, and beyond, she takes readers to dark glens and abandoned forests, ancient sacred sites, and local pubs, seeking those who might still believe in the mysterious beings we've relegated to the dusty corners of our childhood imaginations, fairies. But as Signe attempts to connect with the spirit world, she'll come to view herself and the world around her in a profoundly new way. This is just about that journey that she takes to start to have faith in something again and to believe in something that she hopes will ease the weight of her father's passing and the grief that she feels from that. And so it's a really interesting story. If you're interested in any kind of mythological beings like fairies or anything like that, I would definitely recommend it. It's a really interesting read. I learned a lot. And in the back there's a section of further recommended reading to let you know some of the sources that she used and some of the things that she recommends if you want to know more on the subject. So this was really great. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars, and not only is the content engaging, she's actually a really good writer. I thought she had a beautiful writing style, and there were definitely a lot of sentences and quotes in here that I highlighted to go back to again because they were just really beautiful and poignant. And I definitely enjoyed this, and I gave it 4 out of 5 stars, and I would definitely recommend it if you think it would be something you'd be interested in. And so that's it. Those are all the things that I managed to get to in May. I don't know if I'll do a June TBR. I might. I haven't really decided yet. I might just leave it up to whatever I feel like picking up. But I will let you know. You will see that in hopefully the next few days if I do decide to make one. And I have more videos coming your way. I was tagged in the Be a Good Human tag recently, which was originally created by the wonderful Jen Campbell, and I was tagged by the lovely Lila Wood. And I will try to link both of those ladies below so that you can check them out. I'm sure if you're subscribed to me, you're probably already aware of them, but I'll link them below nonetheless. And yeah, that is all I have for y'all today. And if you have anything to say about any of these books, if you've read any of them, or if any of them look interesting to you, let me know in the comments. I'd love to talk to y'all. I'll see y'all later. Bye.